Hi everyone and welcome back to the UK for our Wilmslow and Derby studio update. Our focus over the last month has been on getting 3.0 to everyone as soon as possible, as well as continuing our ongoing work for S42. For 3.0 we've been closing down the remaining features and much of the team is moving on to bug fixing, polish and optimization tasks. So let's start with what's been happening on our technical sprints this month. On the programming side, we've been helping with the cockpit experience sprint with the goal of making the feeling of sitting in your ship much more dynamic. Some of this is incorporating psychological effects such as blackout and red out into the active status system. So it's all controlled by one system that can influence things such as players' breathing and stamina. This sprint is also improving the G-force animations, player hit reactions, and the ship gets a dynamic impulse. Close combat is coming along very nicely. We've been working on some great knife-based takedowns and unarmed takedowns, as well as working with design and animation to make it all look and feel extremely satisfying. One of the less visible but fundamental underlying pieces of technology is the new active status system, or Actor 2.0, and we've nearly completed converting all the old player and actor code over to the new system. Whereas previous setup just inferred active states from other variables, we now have a much cleaner interface for serializing between the server and all the clients. All told, it makes writing new player features much more straightforward and makes the code much more reliable. We've also been working on incorporating the brand new patching system into our internal copy build 3 tool that was developed over in Frankfurt and Austin. Now it's past QA's approval, we start doing a limited rollout to the dev team to carry on fleshing out any issues with it. So far it's looking pretty good, and the people using it are really appreciating the reduced time it now takes to grab the latest build. Moving on to the graphics team, the new render detection system has been a key focus this month. One major issue of this tech has been the hologram system, which will be used for mission briefings, comms calls, mobiGlas, and many other situations. The render detection system will be used for all our new user interfaces, and we're also aiming to use this for live rendering of video comms calls from other players. Our exposure control system had an upgrade to deal with the enormous contrast of lighting in space. The system now takes light from your peripheral vision into account, and so should no longer overly brighten the screen when looking into space when you are near bright objects. The graphics team have also added a host of new features to the GPU particle system, such as lighting, turbulence, and anti-aliasing. That will be used as many cool new effects in 3.0. The concept team has firstly been focusing on ship weapons. We have worked on the Amon and Reese laser cannons S1 to S6 and the Klaus and Werner laser repeater S1 to S6, along with some associated VFX. On a smaller scale, but just as important, we've taken the Gemini manufacturer and created a slick looking heavy machine gun with the iconic cooling system as seen on other Gemini guns. This month we took on our 6th member of the concept team, who's looking at areas of Stanton system and more specifically Horizon, while also supporting additional needs on Squadron 42 locations. As ever, we continue to search this universe far and wide for more talented artists. The environment art team has been building some exciting prototypes for procedural cities. This will allow us to create vast cities and landing zones and planet surfaces for the Stanton system and beyond. Work continues to flesh out texture of space and to provide a greater palette for the artist to make space travel interesting and at times support the narrative in both the persistent universe and Squadron 42. One specific element is our new space dust shader, allowing us to add large volumes of space dust to the Stanton system for the 3.0 release. Yellow's asteroid belt has also been improved, which once again makes use of the new shader type. All the major outpost archetypes have been finished. This includes dressing for different corporate and independent companies for various functions such as mining, hydroponics, habitation and storage. It also includes some additional unique varieties such as emergency shelters, abandoned outposts and gang-owned outposts too. All outpost doors and airlocks have been switched to the Door 2.0 system, meaning that they can interact with different rooms, power systems, oxygen, overrides and hazards. Outpost clusters and additional exterior elements have been finalized. This includes outposts, landing pads, paths, power modules, water collectors, weather stations, relay stations and exterior lighting. The branding prototype has been completed, so now outposts are represented by several different corporate companies, as well as independents and gangs. Planet surface integration is ongoing. Sand, dust, and frost materials have been finalized to help blend the outposts into the moons. Decals have been used to add an extra layer of dirt buildup and have also helped to blend in the exterior landing pads and props. The team have finished all pre-polish and optimization work on the exterior truck stop pieces and have moved on to finish the interior. The main hub is currently being worked on, based off concepts from art direction, and additional pieces have been made to add more of a truck stop character. Props and lighting are currently placeholder. The side shops and corridors have had a first pass on them. The Platinum Base shop is having its own building set made for it, so it looks more distinctive, and an admin office has been created so players drop off packages relating to missions. Finally, an observation room has been blocked out facing the landing pads, so players can watch the comings and goings of other players' ships from the interior of the station. Also, admin offices have been added to other Stanton locations such as Port Olisar and Grimhex. All the 3.0 locations have been updated with a new door and airlocks 2.0 system, and 2 new shops have been added to Grim Hex. One is an independent ship's part trader, and another, Technotic, is an old electronics store that may house a mysterious character. On the UI front, work has been cracking along on the new mobiGlas UI and all the other various new apps that will become available for 3.0. Last month, we successfully integrated the mobiGlas and kiosk UIs using the new render to texture tech, and the visual result proved promising of further achieving the look that the team is after. In addition, we've been working with the VFX team to couple particle effects and lighting to help ground the UI projection within the game world environment. As part of this, we've been working to drive the second multidisciplinary sprint for the Star Map app, the goals of which are to implement the remaining functional requirements for the 3.0 release, as well as improve upon the general visual fidelity and user experience from previous iterations. This involves focused collaboration between art, VFX, audio, and engineering teams to help bring together a refined experience. We've also wrapped up work on implementing the basic functional requirements for the new Mission Manager app, allowing players to view information on available missions, as well as allow players the ability to accept, track, and abandon missions which have been accepted, as well as view a log of the previous missions which have been completed or attempted. Along with the work on the Item 2.0 ship conversion, we have started to implement the new pilot multifunctional displays, which refines the UI of previous iterations and adds new information as well as capabilities in managing your ship systems. We've also been helping with the recent doors and airlock sprint, where we helped to design and implement new status displays for the various airlocks throughout the system, which also utilized the new render to texture tech. The audio team has been involved in lots of different sprints and pipelines as usual this month. Weapon audio completed work on weapons such as the railgun, and having made steady progress on derelict ship audio and the interior ship audio for the Javelin. The team is also helping to finish up the actor status system so that the breathing from the player works alongside dialogue more intelligently, and a new outlaw music logic set was completed, which will be reflective of the player's reputation system. Also, various locations for the 3.0 release have been revised and improved in terms of environmental and ambient sound, with members of the audio team even attending a character-based sound recording at Shepperton Studios. The animation team has been working closely with gameplay programming to continue development to the takedown kill mechanics. Weapon improvements and tweaking continues across the board for the upcoming 3.0 release. The jump mechanic is receiving some love to get a more flexible system to cope with various environments and gravity states. mobiGlas has been moved from a look pose to an aim pose to allow increased functionality. We've also added in some extra animation to the enter and exit states to make it feel more connected to the player. AA combat assets continue to be exported and tested where possible in engine. We've also been continuing the export of cinematic scenes for design to implement in engine. The Derby studio has been busy on 3.0 mission givers. Both are coming along very nicely, and it's exciting to see life being added to the PU. Facial animation is still being produced by the team for S42 and future PU releases. The mocap guys set up the system for a quick shoot in the new office space. It was great to see such a quick turnaround of the data from shoot to in-game in a matter of days. There was another quick audio headcam shoot earlier in the week for some last-minute pickups for 3.0. The facial data is already edited and in production. As always, the ship team has been up to a lot this past month. Work on the derelicts is coming to a close for this phase. We have the Starfarer, Caterpillar, Constellation, and Freelancer ready to be used in various gameplay missions, both in space and planetary locations. The underlying tools to allow placement correctly on planets so that the ship components and wreckage all conform nicely has now also been implemented. This will allow for some well-crafted artist-driven derelict sites while maintaining the ability to use those sites on various types of terrain. Coinciding with concluding of the derelicts is a bug-fixing pass sorting out any issues such as collision or minor art tweaks. On the Hull C, the team has finalised geometry on the folding section and blocked-in materials. We are currently in the process of finishing the mechanical rig and making sure that all operates smoothly without any collisions. The front of the interior has now had an initial lighting pass and has been continually tweaked to help areas gel together. The rear of the interior has been blocked out and is now getting a modelling pass on a room-by-room basis. Work on the Eclipse is well underway with focus currently on the cockpit. Extensive work has been done on the dashboard, collaborating with other departments to make sure that the layout is appealing and the monitors are legible. With a new Item 2.0 push, it's important to place buttons and switches within the player's arm's reach to create further interactivity and immersion. The landing gears have been fleshed out, and work on the wings has begun starting from the outside, working towards the center of the ship. Work on the reclaimer is almost complete, with only 3 rooms left to go through final art. This month we've wrapped up final art on the cargo room as well as the main lift. In both cases, we tried to maximize the space to allow for easier transportation of cargo. A huge amount of effort has gone into making the cockpit functional in a tight area. We've implemented retractable screens which fold around the player when seated. And we were hugely excited to see the tractor beam seats transition from concept to final art, and we're really looking forward to seeing people using them in the verse. And the team has also been busy working on the bridge area and the bridge lift, which provides access to the lower deck. Well, that's our update for the month. I hope you've all enjoyed seeing what the team here in the UK, as well as the rest of the world, has been up to. As always, thanks for all your support in allowing us to make this great universe. And of course, thanks to all our subscribers who provide for us to be able to do these updates for the community. And take care, and I'll see you all in the verse.